This is probably going to be the hardest video I've ever filmed, and if I cry through it, I'm really sorry. This is still kind of raw for me, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. The last time I posted a video, I was 9 weeks pregnant, and everything was going perfect. Everything was going great. I went to the doctor Wednesday, March 21st, to find out that I was having a sweet little boy. And he has been so active and everything, and I'll play with my little fetal Doppler and listen to his heartbeat. And I couldn't feel him move, but I could hear him on the Doppler. I could hear him move. So he was always really active, and I just knew when I got ready to where I could feel him moving that I was in for a wild time, because he was so wild. But unfortunately, I got home Wednesday. It was about 6 o'clock. And I had a lot of pressure in my pelvis. And I didn't really think anything of it. I mean, with pregnancy, you feel a lot of things. And so I just was resting, and I thought maybe I'd had gas. So I took a gas pill, and it really only hurt when I stood up. As long as I was sitting down, I was fine. About 9 o'clock that night, I went to use the bathroom. And as I was pushing, I could feel something coming out that wasn't supposed to be coming out. And so I took a video to try to see what it was. And I knew what it was when I saw it. But maybe I was wrong. I'm not a doctor. I've never been pregnant before. And so I called the doctor. And she said that it could be a vaginal prolapse. It could be, a number of things. So she told me to go on ahead and come into the hospital just to be safe. So my husband and I got ready to go to the hospital, and we got there. It was like 10:30, 10:40 something. I don't really know. But we got back there, and they laid me down in the bed, and the ER doctor, I say ER doctor, of course we're in labor and delivery, but it was the emergency department in labor and delivery. And he checked me, and he told the nurse, he's like, I'm going to need a speculum. And so I got the speculum, and he looked in there, and he said that my cervix had dilated, and it had let some of the sac out. He could see parts. And I thought that he just saw the exact same thing I did. I had saw the umbilical cord when I saw it coming out. But Dr. Strawn, my doctor, later told me that he could see parts of my baby in the sac outside of my cervix. So they diagnosed me with an incompetent cervix. And if you don't know what that is, an incompetent cervix is a weak cervix. And it's where it allows for dilation and effacement too soon. And I was 20 weeks pregnant at this point. So it was way too soon. And so he told me that at this point, since the sac had already come out, that there wasn't much hope for my baby boy. and that he likely would not survive this because of how early he was. So, but he told me, he was like, we'll try everything we can. He was like, basically get comfortable. You're going to be here a while. So I thought, maybe we could at least go a week or so. And they put me on this bed, and it put me at an angle. I was laying on my head. They put the foot up higher than the head, hoping that gravity would kind of take pressure off of it, and maybe it would go back. I don't know. But I got into my room at, I don't know, sometime after midnight. Then I got into my room, and they put me on the inversion, and it felt a lot better when she put me back. And they put a catheter in because I was on strict bed rest. I could not get up at all because any time that I moved or got up, it would put pressure on my cervix. So I was not allowed out of bed at all for any reason. And so I got comfortable, and throughout the night, the same pressure that I had been having came on rhythmically. And they were very close together. They were probably a minute or so apart. And I didn't think anything of it because it didn't feel any different than what I was feeling. About 3 o'clock that morning, I felt some wetness down there. And so I reached down, and it was blood. And my hand was just covered in it. And my husband pulled back the covers off me, and he said there was blood everywhere. And he was freaking out. But the nurses were okay. They didn't mind. I say a little bit of blood. I didn't see it, but they told me that was just due to cervical changes. And then I started to question, cervical changes. Am I in labor? But they never said that I was, so I didn't really think anything of it. And they checked me. They tried to check me, but because the sac was in the way, they couldn't see anything. I couldn't feel anything. So they really couldn't tell me what was changing and what wasn't. So 5 o'clock that morning rolled around, and the nurses were changing shifts. And as the new nurse came on, she was introduced. And as the old nurse was leaving, I felt this bubble expand and then gush. And so I started like freaking out. I was like, I think my water just broke. And so she finishes whatever she was typing in, and she goes to look down there. And she said you delivered. You actually delivered. My baby boy was born a little after 5 o'clock in the morning on March 22nd. And my husband said he moved. I never saw him move, but my husband said he was moving. But he died very fast, very soon after he was born. I was really excited, and I had let my guard down. I didn't think anything bad was going to happen because my pregnancy was going so perfectly. I haven't even had a pelvic exam because I haven't needed one. Even on the ultrasound that morning, that afternoon, he looked perfect. I got to the hospital, and his heartbeat was perfect. It's just my body let him go too fast. And he was too small to make it without his mommy. At this point, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I'm just kind of here. I sit and I stare at the wall all day, or I cry. They gave me the gown that he was wearing. They put him in this gown and they let me hold him as often as I wanted to at the hospital. I was there for 2 days. And I can hold him as much as or as little as I wanted to. And bless his heart, I held him so much that his little feet would change colors. But he's gone. I don't get to hold him or kiss him or feed him. My milk came in yesterday. I just never thought this would happen. And I don't know. I was scared at first that it would. And when everything was going fine, I let my guard down. I didn't have no reason to worry. I wasn't given any reason to worry. But yeah, so that's really all I have. There's nothing more to say about it. Doesn't mean that's the end of it. It doesn't stop my mind from racing. I have so many questions. I have so many wonders and what ifs and all kind of things, but those are all questions I'm never going to have answers to. But thank you guys for listening. And I appreciate you being there for me.